There is a hatred in this world that doesn't make sense. Not a disagreement, not a grievance, a hatred with no argument underneath it. And if you try to argue with it, you will lose, because you brought reasons to a fight that was never about reasons. So what do you actually do? There are two answers. One is about how you treat the person who hates you. The other is about how you live your own life. Both of them are going to surprise you. Stay with me. 3,000 years ago, the Jewish people walked out of Egypt. The sea had split, the sky had opened, and a nation called Amalek came out of the desert to attack them. Why? No land dispute, no provocation, nothing to gain. They had just watched the impossible happen, and yet they attacked anyway. The Mittler Rebbe writes something chilling about this. Amalek's hatred doesn't come from the mind. It comes from the deepest point of the soul. And when you hate from that place, you cannot tolerate your opposite existing. There is a love so great that a person disappears inside it. And there is a hatred that works exactly the same way in reverse. So watch what Moshe does in that battle. He doesn't draw a sword. He raises his hands above his head, above the intellect, and Israel prevails. He lowers them back down to the level of reason, and Amalek prevails. That one gesture is the entire map of this war. Centuries later, King Shaul is sent to finish it. And Shaul understood. He grasped the mystical depth of that command better than anyone alive. He was so sure he understood that he improved on it. He spared the best of the flocks to offer them up to God. And the prophet Shmuel says 6 words that shatter him. To obey is better than sacrifice. Shaul was anointed from a flask. His kingship ended. David was anointed from a horn. His kingship never ends. Because David took the yoke without first demanding a reason. He did it because God said so, full stop. And that is the one thing Amalek cannot survive. This is why at Sinai, the Jewish people said it backwards. We will do, and then we will hear. We will act first, we will understand later. Not because understanding doesn't matter, because our commitment can't be held hostage to it. So what does that look like on a Tuesday? If you're Jewish, Shabbat, kosher, family purity, all 613. Not when it's convenient, not when it clicks. And if you're not Jewish, God gave you 7, given to all humanity through Noah. Don't worship idols. Don't blaspheme God. Don't murder. Don't steal. Don't commit adultery or sexual immorality. Don't eat the flesh of a living animal, and build courts of justice. 7 laws. That's a civilization. Now, there's a reason we read this section of the Torah, remembering what Amalek did right before Passover. Because the very next night, we eat matzah, flour and water. No rising, no flavor, nothing added. Matzah is what faith looks like when you strip out everything except the faith. And that is exactly the opposite of Amalek. Blot out the memory of unreasoning hatred, then eat the bread of unreasoning trust. Haman's downfall landed on Passover itself. The hatred beyond reason fell on the festival of faith beyond reason. That's not a coincidence. That's a mechanism. But here's the part that undoes me. At Sinai, they already said we will do and we will hear. So the Rebbe asks, why does the Megillah say the Jews only accepted it in the days of Achashverosh. Sinai was the highest moment in human history. Purim was the lowest point of exile, and the acceptance happened at the bottom, not at the top. Because under Haman's decree, they didn't just refuse to convert. They gathered in public to learn Torah, knowing exactly what it could cost them. Mordechai woke that up in them, and in that one thing, they went higher than Sinai. Now the uncomfortable question. The Rebbe points out something we have all watched happen. People who lived under regimes that outlawed Torah, who gave everything for years. They came to free countries where nobody was stopping them, and the fire got quiet. Because that kind of self-sacrifice shines from the essence of the soul. But it never quite reaches the ordinary, everyday parts of a person. It sits above them, so the higher and harder level is living with that same dedication when nothing is threatening you at all, when it's comfortable, when it would cost you nothing to let it slide. That's the real test of our generation, not whether you would die for it, whether you'll live for it on an ordinary Wednesday. Which brings us back to the person who hates you. And here, the Rebbe says something almost nobody expects. Don't label him. Someone once wrote to the Rebbe about a public figure making anti-Semitic statements. And the Rebbe wrote back roughly this: most of these people are moved by expediency, not conviction. Their positions shift with time and place and circumstance. So don't be rigid with them. Don't run a cold war that turns into a hot war. Don't brand a man an enemy, an antisemite, however satisfying that would be. It's counterproductive. We don't have too many friends. Attaching labels won't gain us any. Instead, find the way to move him toward a favorable stance, even if it's only public, even if it's only political. Quiet diplomacy over loud war, with one condition, and it's not negotiable, never at the cost of actual safety. Protect first, then reach. But why? Why would you treat someone like that as a human being? Because of what the prophet Zechariah saw. A menorah, 7 branches, 7 completely different directions, hammered out of one single block of gold. Not welded, not assembled, one piece. Difference was never the enemy of unity. Difference is how unity gets expressed. Avraham was love. Yitzchak was awe. Yaakov held both, 3 opposite men, one inheritance. And that oneness doesn't stop at the Jewish people. It runs through every human being alive, because we all came out of the same hand. So when you meet the flaw in another person, even an ugly one, even one aimed straight at you, the instinct isn't rejection. It's compassion. You don't push him further away from the gold. You look for the way to help him find his way back into it. 2 hands, one reaches out to the human being who hates you. One reaches up above your own head. That's it. That's the entire strategy. Everyone who ever hated us beyond reason is gone. Amalek, Haman, every single one of them. And we're still here, still eating matzah, still putting on tefillin, still lighting candles, mostly without being able to fully explain why. That's not the weakness in our position. That is our position. Live beyond reason and treat every person like a person. That's the answer. If this gave you something, subscribe and tell me in the comments where you land on this. I read them.